Hey guys, welcome to another exciting episode of Open Studio. As always, I'm your host for today's show. My name is Danny Kambwe, and joining me in studio is two lovely people from an amazing hospital called the Red Cross War Memorial Children's Hospital. And joining me in studio to speak about this amazing hospital and also a bit of history and the future of the hospital is Mujahid and also Nokuthula. All right, so Mujahid, who is an ambassador of the hospital, and also Nokuthula, you're the corporate fundraising manager, I believe. So for those that's watching at home that do not know you, is hearing about you for the first time, can you just tell us a little bit more about yourself, starting with you, Nokuthula?
Thank you so much. My name is Nokuthula Bonga.
Yeah.
I do corporate fundraising for Red Cross. And I come from a background where I used to do events, brand managing, and I just wanted to do something that contributes to change.
All right, wow. And yourself, Mujahid?
So I've been in the industry for 21 years now, and I felt that just to make a little bit of a difference, I think this was the right step for me to take.
Yeah.
I'm about that life, and I think that there is change needed in our community. And when I was approached by this brand of Red Cross Children's Hospital, I thought this would be one of the best steps I could take. So I felt, because I also have a history with them, I thought, let me get right into it and make a difference.
Wow. So listening to the name Red Cross War Memorial Children's Hospital, why that name? Why War Memorial?
Well, the Red Cross, most people, I think they don't know. It opened its doors in 1956, but it was soldiers that came back from the World War II that wanted to leave something with monument, since of the space they were in, and seeing lots of people losing their lives. So they also wanted to honor some of their soldiers that lost their lives. So that's how the hospital came about. They met with the Red Cross Society about this idea of opening a hospital, and literally that's how it came about. They donated 2 weeks of their pay to be able to do the first public appeal with the community around Cape Town to really open the hospital. So it came about in 1956 when it opened its doors. But backing track, the first meeting with Red Cross Society, it was like around 1945.
Okay, so
it was a little bit way back. It was a process to get there, and really it's about the community and people working together. That's how the hospital
So
came about.
you mentioned that it's the soldiers that took on this initiative to start this hospital. So was it always on their conscience that this has to be a children's hospital, or was it first for them to assist, those that was in the army, those that got hurt?
I think they did know they wanted it to be a children's hospital.
Okay.
I think that was very clear, and because of the children from the war that they saw, so they really wanted to be about children.
Okay.
And I think, I'm not sure, I was not even born at that time, but I can only assume, because there was not, the Red Cross Hospital is the only standalone, or was the first standalone pediatric health hospital only focused for children. So that also spoke volumes.
Yeah, and Mujahid, you said you've got the history with the hospital that which influenced you to be part of it. So can you just tell us a little bit more about this history? What really happened?
Yeah, so going back, let's say 31 years, I was born at the beautiful hospital, not standing anymore, which was St. Monica's Home in the Boerkaap. 2 months later, because of circumstances that were unforeseen, due to my mom having to go to work and my dad having to work because we came from a struggled background, I needed a nanny to take care of me. I was then kidnapped by the nanny, taken to a black, how do you call it, a settlement.
Okay.
And I was kept there for over 36 hours and was rushed to Red Cross Hospital. There I spent almost 2 years, and I was diagnosed with so many, with so many diagnoses, but yeah, I came out stronger, happier, breathing, smiling, and it made quite a change.
Wow.
Made quite a change. So
Thuly, you that is in this building, and you see these things happening every day. You see children being diagnosed with so many things. Can you tell us, why do you think is it important that we have children hospitals in particular?
Well, for example, I wouldn't want, if I was a parent, I wouldn't want to take my child at a bigger institution. I would want a hospital that literally focus on my child. So if I had to take you through a journey in the hospital, you see different types of illnesses, you see different types of patients that come in, you see hope, you see quite a lot. I think as a person, you don't have time to be in your own pity. For me, working there, all I want to do is contribute to the change, making those children to go home quicker and be healed quicker. So there's various things that brings them there. So like Mujahid would say, he had different things that they needed to focus on, and a child could come in with just a burnt injury, but it could lead to something else. So we focus on a lot of those kind of illnesses. So I would say it is important to have a focused a hospital that is focused only on children, you know, because of all the different illnesses they come with.
No, for sure. And if I could add to that, I mean, I've got 2 kids, you know, and luckily for me, I've been able to afford medical aid, and my son was also admitted to a private facility, but still needed the care of Red Cross because of the amount of knowledge that goes into pediatrics compared to any, and I say this without any shame, compared to any other facility out there which focuses on everyone. They cannot compare to an institution like the Red Cross Children's Hospital, simply because of the equipment we have. However, we need to still uplift this hospital and make big changes so that we are able to see to more needs of kids, because there are certain kind of diseases that are not known to many out there that are coming in on a daily basis that needs attention. So what better hospital to start this at rather than the Red Cross Children's Hospital, because of people who are focused on pediatrics and children, you know. And I mean, there are kids, I mean, we hear of stories of certain children where they are abused by mothers, you know, because of a drug-related incident. But I mean, I could carry on all day, but yeah, that's sort of that in a nutshell.
Wow. So guys, we're just going to take a short break. For those that's watching at home, I urge you to please stay tuned, because when we come back, we just spoke about the history now. So when we come back from the break, we're going to go into deeper details as to what is the future plan of this Red Cross Hospital. So do not go anywhere. All right, guys, welcome to it. If you just tuned in, you're not too late. You're watching Open Studio on Cape Town TV. As always, I'm your host for today's show. My name is Danny Kambwe, and we continue with our conversation, because joining me in studio is 2 lovely people, goes by the name of Mujahid and Nokuthula. Okay, you guys are from the Red Cross War Memorial Children's Hospital. All right, so just to continue our conversation, we spoke a little bit more about the history for those that missed it. We got into your background, Nokuthula, and also your background, Mujahid. So what just stood out for me, what I took into interest, is what actually happened to you before you landed up into the Red Cross Hospital. So just to speak more on that, you mentioned that you were kidnapped, but you know, just tell us a little bit more what happened that day.
So I was staying with my aunt in a room, obviously with my parents, before my mom and dad was able to buy their own place in the Bonga. I then had the nanny taking care of me. The nanny was well known in the community. Obviously, my parents did their research by finding out who this lady actually was. She's worked at 3 different homes in the Bonga, so she was quite familiar as, well, everybody knew who she was. So she was taking care of me. Everyone thought that I pulled the cable of the kettle, which was not the case, because they could see, you know, these people, when they do all of these checkups and stuff, they just know how things happen. So it's like when a child burns by mistake and his hands burn, they'll know on the mark whether it was a fault of the child, or if there's a straight line and it was dunked into a boiling water, they could see there's a straight line that was there. So they knew exactly how the kettle was poured over me with boiling water over my back area. So I was badly burnt, just like that, taken to the settlement and in Khayelitsha, where I was kept for over 36 hours. So there was no treatment on my wounds. I developed pneumonia, all sorts of diseases and things like that, and infections. 36 hours later, I landed up in hospital. I was there for a very, very long time. I believe that I was taken care of amazingly. I mean, I would not be sitting here if that was not the case. But at the same time, that wasn't my only visit to the hospital. I was a sportsman. I played rugby. I broke my fingers. I mean, 2 of my fingers were broken. 1 toe was broken. My ankle was broken. I was also in karate, so I broke a rib as well. So
how was experience like for you?
And every time I knew the nurses by name. I was like, how's it, to me, you know, things like that. So it was quite a relationship built. Not saying that there was any negligence. It was just that I was a kid, and I went through some things because that is what God ordained for me to go through. And I came out smiling, breathing, and happy. You know, so I'm able to tell the story to parents out there who is watching this, and I can tell you that difference needs to be made so that my life and other children's lives can still be touched by the hands of professionals such as the people inside Red Cross Children's Hospital.
So, so by saying that, Red Cross right now is in need of funds.
That's right.
And you, Nokuthula, you're the person that is running with this project. You are running with
she's got all
so can you tell us how far has this come so far? Because I mean, there are so many stories like Mujahid that's coming through those doors every day, and you have to have funds to sustain it and to help these kids. So how is that project going?
Before I can actually explain that, I want to paint a bit of a picture for the audience. In the past 5 months, we've had about 270 cases of child abuse. About 77 of those cases were being inflicted on children by adults. We had about almost 50 of those cases were burns from children burned. We have 17 cases of child gunshot wounds. You think, how does a child get in the crossfire? But it happens. So those are the cases we experience within the emergency center. Talking into what we're fundraising for, we are in the process of building, or the building has started in April to upgrade our emergency center. Part of this is when a child comes in from a child protection, for example, if they need privacy, we don't have a space for that. If a child was molested or abused, the family don't have a room where they can be engaged with. And gunshot wounds, you don't know how it happened, so the penetrator could still be out there, so we need a room where it can prevent, like give protection to those kids. So part of the upgrade of the hospital, we're looking at the flow of the ward itself. We have a trauma, we have 2 sections, we have a trauma side, we have a medical side. So if a child comes in, if you ever go and take a moment to visit the hospital, if an ambulance was rushing the child with a gunshot wound, and as a father, you were walking in, just coming to the hospital with your child for check-in or whatever the case might be, we walk in the same entrance. That's one of the biggest things that we want to change. If the same child with a gunshot needed to be taken to our emergency or our ICU for operation, it takes almost 15 minutes to get there because we don't have a lift in that facility, which is one of the biggest change we're also trying to bring into the upgrade. Another factor is that we get children that are, they call them, it won't say disabled, but they behavioral issues. So there's no space for that kind of health care, for example. So that's also part of what we call it. It's going to be like a calm room where children with those kind of issues can be taken care of. So in overall, we're looking at the child who's walking in with whatever type of illness you have. How do we best accommodate each of those parents, the children, and the people that are around in terms of the experience? So the emergency building, it's going to be completed in 2021. The target for that, because we also don't just fundraise for the building, we also fundraise for child protection, we fundraise for food program as well for our outpatients. So it's going to take about 2021 for the building to be completed, but in terms of the fundraising, we need to raise 150 million in the next two 2 years.
150 million.
Yes,
Yeah.
to make
And
everything.
How far are you right now?
Well, we need every cent still counts. We've raised about 41 million.
Yeah, we're
so
just
far.
over that mark now, yeah.
Just over that. Still a lot to be done. We do plead to the community, to the people out there, to businesses, to partner with us, to come and visit the hospital, donate. We always say as fundraisers, every cent counts, and literally every cent counts.
It does, yeah.
Yeah, so Mujahid, being as an ambassador in the hospital, just quickly before we wrap up, what does this mean to you? Just quickly.
It means change,
Yeah.
and it means positiveness, and it means that I'm able to create an awareness on the platform that I have, where I perform to minimal of thousands of people on a daily basis, where I can tell them about what the Red Cross Children's Hospital is in need of. So this is what it's about. It's just, you know, let's try and create the change. Just go to the website and check it out and make the difference.
All right. Okay, guys, we're just going to take another short break. As you can hear, guys, this was another very informative segment here, so to say. Guys, we're going to take another short break. So when we come back from the break, we're going to continue with our conversation with the two lovely guys in studio with me. So do not go anywhere. Alright guys, welcome back. If you just tuned in, you're watching Open Studio here on Cape Town TV. I'm your host for today's show. My name is Danny Kambwe. We're almost at the end of another amazing show. And joining me in studio today is Mujahid and Nokuthula from the Red Cross War Memorial Children Hospital. So before we close the show, before we go home, okay, before we close for the viewers that's watching at home, you guys have got two talents that we're gonna showcase today, okay?
Okay.
With Nokuthula, I know your talent is sales. And with Mujahid, you're a singer. Okay, so just before we wrap up, I want you to put your sales skills into place now and just tell the viewers that's watching at home that wants to donate to this initiative. How do they go about it?
Well, we have various ways of how you can donate. One, you can visit our website, www.childrenshospitaltrust.org.za. In there, you're going to find our SnapScan. We have our banking details. And should you want to be our monthly donor, we have an application form where you can fill it in. We also have a community fundraising. Should you want to do a fundraising on your own capacity, but the funds goes to the trust, that we also do. We also have for companies something we call cause-related marketing, a CRM partnership. Should you have any product or partnership ideas that you would want to run by us, we are always open. And then next week, this week actually on Friday, we're having part of our activation for campaign, we're having a fence wrapping. So you are more than welcome to come and join us on Friday.
Wow, so are you guys taking in any volunteers?
We're looking for volunteers. So we're gonna be in Klipfontein Road. We're gonna be wrapping the whole fence of the hospital. So we need people to come and leave their mark on life, which is part of the campaign, leaving your mark on life. So you can come and help us. We have a few schools that will be participating, radio shows that will also be there. It's going to be epic. A community. It's going to be epic. So if you can come and join us.
No, definitely. So you mentioned
hashtag leave_your mark.
Leave_your mark. That's a hashtag, guys, for those that's watching at home. Leave_your mark. That's a good one, actually. That's a very good one. So you mentioned that you spoke about the challenges that is currently being faced at Red Cross Hospital for those that missed it, and then now you say that you need funds. You made 4.1 million so far, or
out
just
of
over.
150,
and the target is 150 million. So for those that just missed it, can you just take us through again the importance of why this has to be done?
Well,
why
there's quite a lot.
I believe the children are the future. That's why, man. That's why. And it's as simple as that. We need to understand that a difference needs to be made, and if we can make the difference, then we need to make that difference, because that is the reason we live. You know, it is to bring positivity to so many others, and not just to ourselves, but so many others. And there are people out there who need this, and so, as humanity, it is our destiny to do that, you know, and that is what it's about.
And Mujahid, I believe that you do some music as well, and you know, some inspiration, you know, because of what has happened to you, background, and also to give back. You're an ambassador within Red Cross Hospital. So How has this experience been like for you? And for those that want to get into contact with you, for any kind of advice, for those that are watching at home now going through the same thing, or has gone through the same thing, how can they get a hold of you?
So I'm on Facebook and Instagram. On Instagram, it's Mujahid George. On Facebook, it's Mujahid George, and I've got 2 accounts there, and I've got a page as well, Mujahid George Live. And I mean, they can check it out. It's all happening every day on my page and on my posts and everything. So yeah, I'm always keeping people up to date about what's happening and how we're making a difference and where I'm going to perform next and so on and so forth. It's all out there on social media.
Yeah. So as an ambassador of the Red Cross War Memorial of Children's Hospital, how has experience been like for you? Because I'm sure you see exactly what she sees coming through those doors every day. Does it bring back memories to what you had gone through?
You know, I try my best not to look at the negative part about it all. And all I go is, whenever I walk in there, yes, there will be a tear that will flow down my cheek or something. But I bring myself to that space in my head where I look at things in a positive way. And even if I see all of this abuse and I see the craziness that happens there, I still go, there is hope. Yes. You know, and it's so visible to see the hope, because there are people, there's more ambassadors than just us, you know. There are people that are working tirelessly to make things happen, and I think we are going to get there one step at a time. Before 2021 comes, I think that new emergency setup will be done. Yes. So I think we are heading in the right direction, and yes, that is how I look at things. Always in a positive way. I don't believe in negativity, so I know that change is going to come, and it's going to come very quick.
Yeah, I like your positivity.
Thank you.
So Thuly, why do you think it took so long for them to see this problem and to actually take action on it?
Well, I don't think it took quite a while. You guys are seeing the end, but the conversation has started a while back. Yeah. So the Red Cross War Memorial, it is a government institution. Okay. And then the trust, the Children's Hospital Trust, is an NPO. We do fundraising for the hospital. Okay. So in terms of the process, to answer your question, is that the conversation had taken place about years ago, more than 5 years ago, to make it to what it is today, like the project finally taking shape, so to speak. So yeah.
Wow. And how does it feel being part of this change?
Well, it feels great. I won't lie. It does feel great. And seeing a project starting and knowing that you're part of it and contributing, and also people, because we're completing one of our other project, which is our oncology ward, and finally seeing it all standing up and knowing that you are part of that. I think it's an amazing feeling, really an amazing feeling. And we can't do it, I think, without the community, without the people that support us, that believes in what the work that doctors, the nurses, the social workers, that they do. We won't exist. I don't think we would exist without them. So that's why we're pleading and saying we need you to be part of our journey and be part of this campaign by leaving your mark on life.
Wow. Wow. Do you have any kids of your own?
Well, not yet.
Not yet. Okay, that's a good
that will be another debate. For now, all the children in the hospital, they have my heart.
Wow. Yeah. Oh man. So for just once again before we close up, can you just give us again that contact details as to, you know, if you want to give fund into the organization?
It will be, you can go to www.childrenshospitaltrust.org.za. In there you would find our banking details, our SNAP scan. You also find, if you want to be our monthly donor, you can also apply, fill in the form. And as I said, we also have third-party fundraising, where as an individual, maybe you have a way of fundraising through your organization, you can also do that.
All right, guys, thank you once again for tuning in. So do not leave your seat, because now to grace us with his talent is Mujahid. So he's going to take us home, guys. Take it away.
Didn't we almost have it all, my friends? The nights we held on till the morning. The ride with you was worth the fall.